question is basically on CSR in business processes or systems and indices and signatory issues. How are Indian companies looking at CSR in their business processes, be it advertising, marketing, manufacturing, quality control, materials, whatever?
Okay, now the other thing, it's interesting now the term CSR, because you see what started happening was that the term, if you look at the term CSR, and if you look at what the UK government says or what Europe talks about CSR and so on, they started using it interchangeably with sustainability. So in a sense, if they ever looked at CSR from a very narrow focus, that then became a much broader focus. Whereas what happened in India was that CSR continued, and I guess it continues to be seen as a shorthand for community development, community engagement, something external, related to but external to the business. Okay, and in a sense, the company's bill, has further, let's say, cemented that notion. Because if you see the bill, if you see the Schedule 7, which is to the clause 135 of the bill, it more or less codes CSR into that spot, into that thing. So it sort of cements the notion of what CSR has been in India and has been understood in India. So when you look at it from that perspective, if you look at it from that, what I would call a slightly more narrow view of CSR, then some of the questions that you're asking with other stakeholders actually becomes less important. Because then the principal stakeholder for CSR, the principal, let's say, beneficiary or the principal interlocutor in the whole CSR game is then essentially community. Just to a lesser extent, supply chain. And I say lesser extent because I think, for example, if the supply chain consists of, say, labor contracted labor, then it tends to also get included. But if it is supply chain in the form of manufactured goods that are then, part of the supply chain, then it becomes again a little hazy in terms of whether that's part of CSR or not. So I think that's the notion why, in that context, rather than the National Monetary Guidelines, which obviously is a far more holistic and more reflective document, addresses all stakeholders. And so that's, I think, an important thing. So it's also important for us when we use the word CSR to be a little, not to use it interchangeably with responsibility. That it's not the same thing, at least in India, and certainly not so after the companies.
But then the entire attention now is diverted to philanthropy again. So are we going back?
It's an interesting question. Now, I think we still don't know what is in the minds of the policymakers. But here's what here's my take. I don't know whether it's based on hope or whether I'm being foolish or whether that's indeed the reality. So I'm saying that the National Monetary Guidelines, which in a sense is a framework document, which talks about responsibilities, which is more in the sustainability side of it, which is focusing on how you make the profits and not what you do with the profits. And that is also a creation, or that's owned by the same ministry, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, which also owns the companies. So if the owners of these two documents are the same, is there a linkage? Becomes the question. I would like to believe that there is. I would like to believe that if you see the 9 principles, Principle 8 talks about inclusive development, the Principle 8 of the National Monetary Guidelines. And I would like to believe that what the companies will try to do is to say, okay, we have these 9 principles. They all, at different ways, need to get executed into some form or the other. We will start with Principle 8, and we will sort of put something more specific in Principle 8. So if you look at NVGs as a wide document and an each deep document, what I would like to believe is the companies will say, okay, let's take one of them, which is Principle 8, and dive deeper into it. would like to believe, or I would like to hope that over a period of time, the other pieces of the principles then get addressed in different forms by the ministry. So, if that is the case, then I wouldn't say it's a backward step. I would say it's a forward step. But if that is not the case, if these two things are completely delinked pieces of policy intent, then I would maybe say, yeah, I'm not sure whether it's a forward step at all.
But the signal that we're giving to the world, when everybody's talking about sustainability and business processes and all that, and the entire nation talks about 2%, are there efforts by consultants to go back to ministry and say that? Something like this. I mean, it is critical now for India.
Yeah, no, it is. And I think that, well, I don't know whether it's necessarily consultants, but I think I know at least of various people, including industry, that has been advocating that we need to look at it from an NBG framework, and need to look at 2%, the 2% thing also from an NBG framework. So there is discussion. There are people who are expressing this view. How strong it is, how it will be taken up, we will know once the rules get notified. And I guess over the next year or two, if the MCA moves on some of the other principles, then we will be clearer on what the policy makers intend. Right now, in fact, it's interesting that I don't know whether anyone has seriously asked the ministry what is the relationship between this and NBT. And I think it's an important question to ask, because the ministry owns both of them. And I think it will be instructive as to what the response would be. So I think this is something some business journalist who is looking at these kinds of issues, perhaps more aware of these issues, might want to ask